Get in the know. Non-stop Vikings talk. It's Purple Daily on Score North and ScoreNorth.com.
Write that down.
Write this down. Write it down. You like writing things down.
Write them down. It's like a personal contract with ourselves.
It's a Write That Down Wednesday here. The only show in America, well, both of our daily shows. We got the OG version on Minnesota Sports with Maggie and Judd, the football version on Purple Daily. Write That Down, the only show in America that's dumb enough to put statistics next to our predictions so you know exactly how wrong and dumb we are. When are you going to admit that you were wrong, Judd?
You know, it's bad enough that I have to admit I'm wrong continually around my house to my wife and dog. But now every Wednesday to have to come on here twice, and mea culpa even more so.
Do you guys have like an in-home version of Write That Down where every week your
Kelsey
wife
does.
comes up?
Oh, it's just called Judd. It's just called
literally
Judd.
called Write That Down.
Oh, really? Mine's just called
ripped off
Judd's
the whole
Wrong.
thing. She has, it's going to happen. She doesn't want to do it yet, but she wants to come on Write That Down with you guys right before the wedding and make Declan specific wedding Write That Downs.
So wait, does she write things down ordinarily every day around your house, or how does this work?
Occasionally, yeah. She has relationship Write That Downs with me that have come off the board to Kelsey. I don't know what she's batting. It's probably close to 1,000, if not 1,000. But yes, she has her own version of Write That Down spawned from this show.
Wow.
Good for her. I like to hear that.
The accountability sessions are what keeps a marriage healthy for the long term.
Yes.
You know, you can't just let stuff slide. You gotta hold each other accountable. So you gotta be careful with that, of course.
I was gonna say that. I'm holding Don accountable all the time. That works out so well for
honey,
me.
you said this yesterday.
I didn't say you were.
I said you were acting like I didn't say you were one.
God, I don't even tell that story for fear that Don will figure out what it. No.
Oh my gosh. Anyhow, this show is presented by our friends at TCL, which has award-winning TVs for any budget, any space, all with stunning picture quality. And TCL makes more than just TVs, too. They offer mobile products, audio devices, and home appliances. TCL brings you joy and simplicity through innovative technology. You can learn more at TCL.com. Judd, tell the audience where we are going to be on Sunday and how they can come hang out and commiserate with us.
We are going to be at the Park Tavern in St. Louis Park, right off of Louisiana Avenue South. It's an easy drive, and we're going to be there for the Vikings-Carolina game. It's going to be a great time, and you know why? Because we can, at worst case, commiserate. We can talk football before the game, during the game, and then immediately after the game, fire up a vent line. Doors will open at 8 a.m. Breakfast served. If you are watching this, you can see this, 8 to 11. Regular menu after that. We can enjoy food. We can enjoy drinks. We can enjoy the camaraderie that comes with patting each other on the back and saying it'll improve at some point in time. Again, Park Tavern in the back room, the 11th frame. Get there early. It's supposed to be nice, though, which is outstanding because they've got a great patio with plenty of TVs out back as well. And so there should be plenty of room for us to operate and for you to have a great time. And, of course, come up and say hi to us, Park Tavern.
Yes. We love connecting with you guys. We love meeting new listeners and viewers and some of the OG ones, too. So don't be shy. If you see us up there, come on up, cheers one, and come, I don't know. If you need a therapy session, I guess we'll give you one in person here. We are here for you. Amen. So, okay, here's how Write That Down works. 3 Vikings or football-related predictions from everybody each week. They must be quantifiable. It's pretty much those are the parameters. We keep track of completion percentage and touchdowns. And listeners, if you want to be like Michael, and participate as a guest listener predictor.
Like Mike. Sorry.
You can send Declan a message through the Score North app. There's a feedback tab, and he'll get you scheduled here sometime in the coming weeks. All right? We'll start with the Juddmeister.
Judd back.
Okay. Not
pretty
bad.
good here, man. We'll start with the bad here. So you said Northwestern won't win a Big Ten conference game this season.
And they were down 31-10. I forgot about that. Damn it.
Comes at you fast.
That's awesome.
Oh, man, dude. I was watching the Gophers and Notre Dame are my 2 college football teams. And I was laying in bed watching those 2 games come down to the wire at the same exact time. My wife was sleeping. And she had gone to sleep probably like an hour beforehand. And the game's ended. I put my phone down. I had to get up, regroup, go to the bathroom, and just kind of take a deep breath. I came back, and she kind of woke up and saw me walking in. She's like, "What's wrong?" Like, I had like a look on my face. I was like, "Remember when you went to bed and the Gophers were up 31-10?" She goes, "Yeah." I said, "They just lost." No, it's like it's the Gophers.
I was so confused because I went to Dave Chappelle over the weekend, and Chappelle makes you lock up your phone. So I had 3 hours of no cell phone. It sits in your pocket, but like I couldn't access my cell phone. And when you texted me that thing of you sent something cheeky of being like, "Oh well, the next Netflix special actually is going to be the Gophers debacle," and I was like, "What are you talking about?" And then like going to the bar, and also everyone else realizing after having their phones locked up for 3 hours what had happened. Oh my God, what an absolute cluster bleep.
I was tempted to suggest that we do an episode on that loss, but one, we don't really have a great place for it, and two, it would have been such piling on.
Yeah,
that there's like it's a litany of just different types of ways to melt down. That's what it is.
They don't deserve our attention this week after that happened. Judd, you said Dalton Reisner would play for the Vikings on Sunday.
Now I am going to challenge this. I'm going to drop the challenge flag because this came up last year, I believe, with a Declan prediction of the exact same sort. He played on special teams.
Oh, he did.
He was in on kick.
Snap?
He had special team snaps. He was in on extra point attempts, at the very least.
Really?
Yes.
I'm just gonna verify here.
No, I have no problem with that.
You saw him out there?
Yes.
Dalton Reisner is on like the field goal team, or what do you?
Yep. That's where I saw him. When the Vikings were attempting an extra point, he went out there. But yes, confirm it because I am challenging this.
Let's see. Oh, wow. He was on 4 field goal kick snaps.
All right.
And you didn't say play on offense. You just said he would play, right?
Well, that makes things interesting.
I'm going to go back in here then, and I'm going to change this to. This is going to change maybe one of Declan's predictions.
You will. Yep.
Okay. So I'll give Judd the credit here. Just going into the trusty spreadsheet.
Declan, who did you do this with last year?
Darius. I did this with 2 years ago and with Darius.
Okay, thank you. I remember you did this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's nice. I've got Big Brother watching over my shoulder, which is good because it's sometimes hard to keep track of everything.
No, that's no problem. No problem at all. No controversy. I just dropped the challenge flag.
And then you have a touchdown here. You said, even though the Vikings just acquired a running back like 2 weeks ago, that the Vikings would sign or acquire another running back by the end of October. And 24 hours later, they did. Cam Akers. So
Feeling
Judd,
good about that.
Little touchdown pass there for Judd.
Red zone.
I said, you guys think I'm a Kirk Cousins hater, but if you look at a lot of my Kirk Cousins predictions here, I have been buying Kirk Cousins stock for months, and it's burning me. I said Kirk Cousins would have at least 2 game-winning drives in the first 4 games of the season. That's now mathematically impossible. Couldn't find Alex Madison wide open on that wheel route. It's fine. Got to throw it into heavy traffic to T.J. Hockenson. Hockenson should have caught it too, but. All right, listeners, Vinny said Justin Jefferson would score 2 touchdowns on Sunday. He had the 1, right?
He did score 1, yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep, first of the season.
Vinny came close on this one. He said the Vikings would strip sack Justin Herbert and recover the fumble.
Oh. Did Daniil knock it out?
They did strip sack him, but they did not recover.
Oh,
he recovered.
And then this one should have come off the board a few weeks ago, but Jeff said neither Joe Burrow nor Justin Herbert would get an extension this offseason. So that one's wrong. And then, all right, well, Declan, you said Dalton Reisner would not start for the Vikings, correct? But he will play and have no more than 15 snaps.
That's right. Correct.
This is a 3-item parlay here. This is awfully specific, Judd. I think in the reversal, I almost feel like this is a touchdown pass for Declan.
I think
because he will not start, but he will play.
Things.
And he will play a specific amount of snaps.
Right. And I think our agreement pretty much is if you get 3 pieces of the prediction right, that's a touchdown, right?
Yeah. Yeah, with some exceptions, obviously.
Well, sure. But I mean,
they will take the field.
Yeah.
This
still
I think we're...
Wow. All right. Upon further review.
There it is. And then your last prediction was the Vikings will have at least 3 wins in their first 5 games, which is mathematically possible. All right, so that brings us, these numbers are kind of wrong here. Declan has actually 7 touchdowns and a higher percentage. So he's still leading the percentage category, 36, probably 36.5%. I'm at 33.5%. Judd just under 33%. Listeners at 22.5%. Judd leads with 8 touchdowns to Declan's 7. I have 6. Listeners with just 2 touchdowns on the season. Declan 34.5 career completion percentage, or 35.5. Judd 34.5. Me 32.5. Listeners at 23% for their career.
May I note that I have been known for, mocked, and ridiculed on this show for my checkdowns, but if I'm not mistaken, I have a league-leading 8 touchdowns this season. So just like the record to show that we are going down the field this year.
Look at you.
You've been on a heater. I think 3 weeks in a row you've had touchdowns on accountability sessions.
Yeah,
I'm feeling pretty good.
You're climbing that ladder, man.
Feeling pretty damn good.
Hey, let's get our guy Michael in here making his debut. I believe, right, Michael? You're making your write that down debut here. Wow. Love it, man. You got the Harry the Hitman jersey. When did you first become a Vikings fan? Tell us about your history as a tortured Vikings fan.
So I'm born right outside of the Twin Cities. So I started to watch them a bit more in the mid-2000s and pretty religiously once I was at the Blair Walsh game, freezing that day. So.
Oh, my God. You were at that game.
Top row. The only thing that helped was the beer and the foam under the seats.
Oh. So, wait, you were like top row of TCF Bank Stadium. It must have been colder there because of the wind and stuff, right?
It was brutal.
Can't feel your limbs. Blair Walsh is missing. Our pets' heads are falling off.
And then all that, all he has to do is make the field goal, and at least you're going to Arizona with a huge win. It was worth it. Oh, wait a second.
So dumb. So here's what we're going to do, Michael. We're going to start with you. We're going to make 3 trips around the room. So it'll go you, Judd, Declan, me, and we'll each make 1 prediction per round here. So if you're ready, we are ready. What's your first prediction?
Okay, write this down. I'm a bit tired of the negativity that's going around with this 0-3 start. So I'm going to say the Vikings will make the playoffs at least as a wild card team.
Oh,
wow.
So they'd be one of like 6 or 7 teams in history, right? I think I saw a graphic yesterday. There's only been one 0-4 team, and it was the Chargers team that made the Super Bowl in 1994. And there's been like 5 0-3 or 6 0-3 teams or something.
I just don't believe with the way that Kansas City's playing. They beat up on a Jaguars team that's not that good. And they also beat up on a Bears team, which is bad. The only team that scares me on their schedule is San Francisco. That's the only team. Bengals are up to 1-2, and they look pretty pedestrian on Monday. So you could win a lot of the games on the schedule.
I like the optimism here. Okay, it's a good breath of fresh air from Michael here. Judd, what's your first prediction?
All right, so I fully expect Cam Akers will make his Vikings debut on Sunday. He will have 8 or more rushing attempts. Cam Akers will have 8 or more carries on Sunday.
Okay.
So not touches, carries.
Okay. Do you think part of that is Kevin O'Connell just sick of, and Madison wasn't charged with an actual fumble, but the ball snuck out like 2 or 3 times in different sort of close to the whistle situations? Well,
yeah, and I think the fact that O'Connell in his Monday press conference was essentially threatening to bench guys, you got to back that up. And look, I think Akers is going to play a fairly key role. I think he's going to absorb some of the snaps that CJ Hammond started to get, and I think he's going to be used in a blocking role as well. But I also think it'll be fair to think that Akers and Madison will probably split the carries more like we expected Chandler and Madison to a little bit. And so I think 8 to 10 carries for Cam in his first game is probably a fair estimate.
Okay.
Write this down.
Dex.
All right, I want this off, or I want to be the first one to get this on the board before you 3. So, the Kansas City Chiefs come to town in a couple weeks. Pat Mahomes, Andy Reid.
She's not coming.
Travis Kelce.
She ain't coming.
And Taylor Swift.
Wow.
Write this down. Taylor Swift will be at US Bank Stadium or spotted in Minneapolis when the Chiefs come to town in 2 weeks.
Wow. Right. Wouldn't that signify that they're actually dating? Because if they're
yeah.
not dating, you would just do a one-time Arrowhead thing.
I spent an hour yesterday of my afternoon listening to Elle Duncan and Lebitard both on their separate podcasts explain what Elle is completely. She thinks it's false. She thinks that is her exact words were, "That's the most platonic walk I have ever seen in my entire life."
They're like, they've never touched each other.
Yes, that's what she said. That's literally what she said too. But I think we're gonna see T Swift back in Minneapolis. She was here not too long ago, but she'll be spotted at US Bank. She'll be at US Bank Stadium or spotted in Minneapolis at some point throughout the weekend.
What was Lebitard's take? Did he think it was a sham too?
He thinks it's a bit of a sham. He thinks it's just remarkable that the Dolphins scored 70 points and no one is talking about it because everyone's just talking about Travis Kelce. And
did you guys see the merch sales that resulted from her being there? I'm going to up my conspiracy theory and tell you right now. I wonder if there's because I think the league tried to get her to play the halftime show, and she's like, "No, I'm good on that." But with those merch sales, I wonder if she's getting some kickbacks too, because she should.
I think conspiracy Judd, conspiracy L Duncan. I think you guys. I think your radars are off. So I'm gonna go with Declan here. I don't know about her coming to Minnesota, but there will be evidence, like photo or video evidence, sometime before the end of the season. That they will be. I'll say this: they will be kissing or canoodling in some way. So they will be embracing, holding hands. Well, they already kind of were holding hands, I guess. Maybe not. I don't know if they were holding hands.
Not in that video. Not in the walking video. Nope.
There will be a photo or video of them kissing, hugging, or holding hands before the end of the regular season.
I put canoodling in the write that down.
It's kind of a vague.
Yeah.
Is this like, what did I say for is it like skirmish? Mm-hmm. You know it when you see it. You know what canoodling is when you see it.
I think the word is affection. Because you know,
affectionately.
Affection can't be holding hands, though. I need more than that. I need real affection.
Can't just be a hug to it. It has to be like clear affection.
That's a platonic. I like
a hug with a hand on the backside. That's affection.
It depends where the hand is, and I'll know that when I see it.
Yeah, if it's lower back area, you know.
What's at the hitch line? Here I want to be friends. Here I just want to grab some ass. You got to be right here. You got to be right here.
Yeah. Okay.
Write this down.
All right, back to Michael for your second prediction.
Sorry, Michael.
No, that's good. So despite what I said about being scared with San Francisco, I will be at that game. I will say this, write this down. The Vikings will beat the 49ers in Monday Night Football. They will cover the spread, and Kirk Cousins will throw for 2 or more touchdowns in that game.
Wow. Coming out swinging, man.
That's incredible.
Love these parlays. Dude, Michael, his optimism knows no bounds. This is great.
Oh, I've got a negative one here in a second. Don't you worry.
I was going to say, if not, I was very concerned that you had joined the wrong Viking show, and we're like, okay, Paul, thanks a lot. This has been great being on.
I love it too because Michael could easily come out. It's like they got the winless Panthers on the schedule. You got the Bears coming up, right? He could easily like pick on some of these bad teams. He's going right for the 2 best teams in the NFL, basically, the Chiefs and the 49ers.
Dedication, Michael. Love to see it.
All right, Jed, what's your second prediction?
All right, so it'll be the Carolina Panthers against the Vikings on Sunday. So write this down. Adam Thielen will have 5 or more receptions in that game. They're going to feed him the ball. He will have 5 or more receptions in that game.
Didn't he catch like 12 passes or 14 passes in his last game?
I don't care. It's a fair write that down.
You said they're gonna feed him the ball 1/3 less than they fed him last week.
Well, you don't know. He could get up to 15. I said 5 or more.
Cut his diet.
He could have 20. He could go Keenan Allen. You know what? Once he hits 6, 5, I'm good. I'm golden.
The way you phrase it, though,
it's like slander.
It's fine. It's a prediction that it is what it is. But to say they're gonna feed,
feed him the ball.
He caught
I actually think he's gonna catch way more than 5. I'm just putting it at 5.
Now the real Judd, write that down, comes out. Okay.
Yeah, I got strategy here.
All right, write this down.
I want the points.
The Vikings will acquire at least 2 2024 draft picks between now and the NFL trade deadline.
Ooh. Okay.
They're going to sell off some assets, and they're going to get at least 2 draft picks back between now and the end of the trade deadline.
I hope you're right.
Daniil
third-round
Hunter
pick?
would get you a couple draft picks.
You don't have a third-round pick?
No, I hope you're right.
Yeah.
I just don't trust him.
Harrison Smith might get you a little 5th or 6th round pick.
Our poor guest, Michael's got the Harry the Hitman jersey on. You're trying to trade him.
No, he's a legend.
It won't be the
He's a
same.
Ring of Honor guy. That jersey's going to be relevant.
Harry's
still.
great.
Yeah,
Yeah, you keep that jersey. All right.
Unlike
Break us down.
Kyle Rudolph.
Would you like to elaborate?
Nope. Just keep going.
I don't think you can just say that on
Well,
the
he
biggest
honored
Viking
him,
show in the country.
He honored himself on Sunday at the Vikings game, and I'm just so tired.
What do you mean
of
he
it all.
honored himself? The team didn't organize. You think that Kyle Rudolph
I think-
planned he made the graphics on the screen?
I think
and everything?
Kyle made some calls and said, "How about we do something for me?"
He was on Canva and Photoshop putting together
I think he made some calls and said, "Yeah, let's do some things for me, Kyle." Oh my God, it was just no.
I would pay for Judd to sit down to dinner with Kyle Rudolph, Adam Thielen, and Jason Zucker. just to watch.
I don't think Thielen falls into and I know I've said some disparaging things about his play, but I don't think Thielen falls into the same Zucker and Rudolph. Yeah, for sure, Declan.
What you're saying? But what are you're saying that those guys are that they're not what they seem, or what do you're being very vague for our audience right now? Is what I'm saying.
I'm saying there are certain athletes that you can tell love themselves a lot and probably shouldn't. And those two guys qualify as guys. And look, they've done a lot of good for the Children's Hospital. That's all great. But, Kyle Rudolph, upon his retirement, comes back and I'll blow the gallows horn and then they'll show me on the screen. It's like, dude, come back in 5 years. Come back in 5 years.
I love your disdain
don't rush back.
Players that age out. You get so mad at these players.
It's the same as tribute videos for slappies that don't deserve it. If Kyle was going to Canton, you know what? Knock yourself out, dude. You deserve it.
He has a lot of records. He was here for a long time.
He's one of the 3 best tight ends in franchise
You're
history.
acting like Kyle Rudolph is Johnny Munt.
I'm getting pushback on the fact I got pushback because I said, is he a Ring of Honor guy in the press box on Sunday? And 2 or 3 people told me no, don't think so.
He's Ring of Honor.
I don't think he is.
He's Ring of Honor.
But then he really doesn't deserve this.
Deserve what? He came back and waved to the audience and blew the horn. They didn't put a statue of him up outside.
You know who didn't right after he got done? Johnny Randall. Johnny Randall didn't come back the next year and hey, I'm back. You know what Johnny Randall did? Johnny Randall went and led his life.
Oh, this is just such a hilarious.
Write this down.
Purple Daily quirk. All right, are we on Declan right now?
No, we're on you, Phil.
On me? Okay.
Yep.
You know what? Since Judd doesn't have the cojones to say what Thielen's really going to do to the Vikings this weekend, I will. Write this down. Adam Thielen in a revenge game against the Vikings will have at least 10 receptions and or 100 yards. So he's going to have a big game, either 10 receptions and or 100 plus yards receiving. Just receiving yards. Make it easy.
Write this down.
All right. Write it down. Okay, back to Michael here.
Okay, let's move to Gopher football then, because I will be back for the homecoming game because I was there for my college career. 8 remaining games left. The Gophers, write this down, the Gophers will win 4 of their remaining 8 games, and 1 of them will be Iowa, but there will be a credible report that PJ Fleck might be out the door soon.
Whoa. Okay. And can we say they'll win at least 4 out of 8, or do you want it to be exactly 4 out of 8?
At least 4 out of 8.
Okay.
Off the record, do you think that credible report will be that he is being courted by Michigan State, or do you think that he will be in trouble from the Gophers' end?
The latter option. He's just too much of a clown show for me. He just makes bad in-game adjustments. Why did you stop running the football as much as you did? They were running it up the nut on Northwestern, and they looked pathetic in the 4th quarter. But,
yeah, dude, he can market, he can recruit a little bit too. Obviously, people are well, he isn't bringing up 4. You're not going to get 4 and 5-star guys to come to Minnesota necessarily. But some of the in-game stuff is such a train wreck with him. It's really bad.
Clown show is a great word for it, by the way. I love that.
Yeah. Michael, great stuff here. Love these swings you're taking. Since you've got this life-changing platform on Purple Daily, is there anyone in your life you'd like to thank that helped you get here to this pinnacle moment?
Yeah, I want to thank my recently engaged fiance, despite the fact that we split each other in the household with her being a Packers fan. And also, I want to just thank my mom and dad. Shout out to mom because it's her birthday tomorrow. So celebrating big time for that.
Michael's mom, happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Yeah.
Good luck with your predictions, Michael. And we'll probably see you on again sometime for your second crack at it.
Thanks, gentlemen.
All right, there he is. Guest listener predictor Michael. I feel like Judd needs to sit down with Kyle Rudolph. Like Declan said, we'll get Rudy, we'll get Zuki, and we'll get Thielen, maybe
Get
Miko
Koivu.
Koivu.
I was gonna say, yeah, Thielen doesn't qualify because I feel like I bashed him a bit at the end of last season, but Koivu, Zucker, Rudy, I feel it's more personal. So
Maybe
yeah,
you guys can all sit down and crack open, because you guys, I think what you all have in common is you would like these Minnesota sports teams, although Zucker probably doesn't care anymore because he doesn't play anymore, to win one before I die. We had a great time out. We had a couple adult beverages at Surly ourselves yesterday, meeting with our friends over there. The Surly Before I Die Lager is flying off the shelves in the Twin Cities.
yes, it is, and it's absolutely fantastic. Tried a couple myself yesterday, and Before I Die remains just an absolutely fantastic beer. And here's the best part: you sit down with a few for a game. It's light, it's easy to drink. It's available now I've seen it in almost every liquor store in town I go into, also in bars. So it should be available, in fact, for our Park Tavern viewing party on Sunday. Before I Die. It's the mission of the Vikings. It's the mission of this show. And your mission should be to get some in your fridge today.
Yes, absolutely. Also, a shout out to our friends over at Federated Mutual Insurance Company. It's like having a great offensive line for your business is how we like to describe it here. Federated has over 100 years of experience helping businesses maximize their success through risk management. All sorts of tools and resources you can find at federatedinsurance.com. You can find information about who your marketing representative would be in your area, and you can find a full list of industries that they specialize in. If you're a next generation business owner or leader, maybe you're taking over a company, a family company, they would love to work with you and have a discussion. Federatedinsurance.com. And boys, our favorite van that you see riding around the Twin Cities is that Finch Home Solutions van.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it, boys.
Yep.
Maybe that's right. You know what?
We had a listener send us a photo yesterday, right?
I was just going to talk about that. I got a note as we were recording the Tuesday shows from our guy Cody at Finch Home Solutions about a Purple Daily fan who had some major work done, and they took a picture with him in his Vikings jersey, and he was pleased and satisfied because you know what? I keep telling you, Finch Home Solutions, fast, efficient, everything courteous. They are absolutely outstanding. They can handle any project. In this case, it was a big one, but if you need an outlet replaced, they can do that. Big or small, Finch Home Solutions has the answers, and they will come to your house and get it done quickly. And right now, Finch Friends and Family Plan, 1 free electrical inspection a year, no dispatch fee, priority dispatching. So when you call, you go to the top of that priority list, plus 10% discount on all the work performed in your home. It's only $9.95 a month. Finch Home Solutions, again, the best in town, 612-357-2604 or finchhomesolutions.com. Finchhomesolutions.com. When that van shows up in front of your home, guess what? Cody and his team, they got your back. They are the best teammates you could possibly have, no matter how the purple is doing.
All right, back to Judd here for your third and final prediction. We also have the quarterback cesspool challenge on the horizon here.
I feel like my first two predictions just sort of like checkdowns, safe. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's because right now, gentlemen, you might want to move because I'm going to come off the top rope. Oh. I'm going to come off the top rope. So you can write this down. Kwesi Adofo Mensah will not be the Vikings GM next season.
Wow. What's the date on that? Like training camp, opening of training camp?
I think opening. I think with a bold prediction like this, opening day of the season.
Okay.
But he will not be the Vikings GM.
You think he's just out? What's the off the record? What's kind of the scenario here?
I think there's a lot of warning signs of misses so far. I think there's a lot of things. I mean, we see them. They see more than we do.
And they would just elect to fail fast here and move on to something else.
Correct. Keep in mind there's precedence with the Wilfs here. Fran Foley. Now, Fran didn't have the control that Kwesi does, but Fran, they saw some stuff, and that they were like, okay, this is not going to work. Immediately pivoted off Fran months after they hired him, and went to Spielman. And I'm not saying that Rick was great, but Fran Foley was a disaster. I am not saying that Kwesi is a disaster for sure, but I just think it's interesting when we see things that are concerning that ordinarily. And Phil, you've seen this in covering teams, i.e. a Bill Smith type. But when we see things that are concerning, the team ordinarily sees way more than us. So, yeah, I look, this guy was a surprise hire. Kevin O'Connell had not been hired yet himself. There's just a lot of things when you do a change like this and go with an inexperienced guy that you can see that you say, you know what, this probably was not a great idea.
Yeah, you say he's not a train wreck yet, but if they were to let him go before his third season, I think that would classify as a pretty big train wreck hire, right?
That's why I said yet.
Yeah.
That's why I said yet, because there would probably have to be more to come, but I just won't be surprised. It's worth a shot. Write that down.
All right. Okay, it was worth the checkdowns to get to Judd's
Write that down.
big Hail Mary down the field there.
Bang.
Declan, what's your third and final prediction?
All right, I'm just going to keep my no faith, bad attitude around here and write that down. Vikings lose to the Panthers on Sunday.
Oh, man.
Vikings lose to the Panthers on Sunday.
It is a road game.
Road game.
Yeah, it's hard to debate it.
I think Bryce Young's questionable. Might be another...
The Vikings,
and Dalton played well.
If the Vikings want to win, I know this sounds crazy because it's Andy Dalton, but if the Vikings want to win, I think you'd rather have Bryce Young starting in this game than Andy Dalton.
Yeah.
I mean, Andy Dalton found Adam Thielen a bajillion times. Like he's a professional quarterback. He's seen the Brian Flores defenses throughout his career. So Flores' defenses could be very confusing to decipher for a rookie quarterback playing his second or third game, right?
Let's just say when Baker Mayfield can pick up on what you're doing defensively, Andy Dalton probably can too.
Yep.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm. Write that down.
Okay, write this down. Little follow-up from our reckless speculation. Yes, it's funny. Yeah, you tell people this is a safe space for reckless speculation. All right, we're gonna theorize here.
Speculation.
Oh yeah.
And people get all bent out of shape with the Falcons discussion yesterday. So here's what I will say. Write this down. A quarterback other than Kirk Cousins will throw a touchdown pass for the Vikings sometime this season.
Ooh. Okay.
A quarterback other than Kirk Cousins will throw a touchdown pass for the Vikings sometime this season.
Okay.
Write it down.
So quarterback being the key word there, because I still think my guy JJ is going to throw one. And after I saw the Keenan Allen touchdown pass, Justin Jefferson's got a better arm than that.
And it's funny. It does kind of feel like, remember the first half against the Packers last year, and people were just, oh my God, all these jet sweeps and fake handoffs and trickerations, and why did that kind of go away?
I don't know.
After the first 2 or 3 games last year,
I don't know.
You watch like what the Miami Dolphins do on film now, and you watch what the Niners do. And it's not like those teams don't have super mobile quarterbacks either.
Well,
but they're just running. They have different personnel, and they have some more versatile skill position players. But dude, the Dolphins are lining Tyreek Hill up as like an H-back. It's like some of the crazy stuff you're seeing.
Is Kevin O'Connell not as good or savvy as play callers we thought?
Or is he being less creative because he's got Kirk Cousins as his quarterback, and Cousins only feels comfortable with certain things?
I don't know. But I'm with you totally. I see things the teams do that I thought the Vikings by now in year 2 of O'Connell would be doing, and you are right. Like the lack of creativity it feels like with Jefferson, I just don't get.
Yeah. Yeah, well, maybe this is probably time to be creative now. You're 0-3, and your backs are truly against the wall here. So those are our Write That Down predictions, our accountability
Write this
session.
down. Write it down. You like writing things down.
The only show in America that actually keeps track of our predictions with statistics. All right, Dex, if we could pop this quarterback cesspool deal up on the screen here, we can explain to the audience the game we are playing every single Wednesday here, where we celebrate bad quarterback play in the National Football League. The goal of the quarterback cesspool challenge is to identify the worst quarterbacks in the NFL every single week and throughout the season. It's kind of like a survivor pool in that you can only use a quarterback once per season. So once you use Zach Wilson, and I did with great perfection last week, I can't use Zach Wilson the rest of the year now. So
Good work.
We'll get to the standings and we'll get to our picks here. But the way it works is we're looking for the lowest QBR among the three of us in our picks each week. If your quarterback somehow doesn't play, then you just receive a default QBR of 50, which is average on the 1 to 100 scale. Mm-hmm. So last week, I picked Zach Wilson, Declan picked Daniel Jones, and Judd picked Mac Jones. And Zach Wilson had the second worst QBR in the NFL last week, struggling to keep his head above water. A 17.6 QBR on a 1 to 100 scale.
It's fine work.
Daniel Jones was not great either. 41.2 QBR for him. Mac Jones slightly above the midway point there. 52.4 QBR. So Judd, you finished third place last week. The worst quarterback in the NFL in week 3 was Desmond Ridder with an 11.1 QBR. Boy, wouldn't it be nice if the Falcons, chance to win that division, had a professional quarterback ready to find those weapons? Just going to throw it out there.
It's not the last you're going to hear about that Purple Daily audience.
So on the season, I have 2 wins. Judd has 1 win. Declan's still looking for his first weekly win. For the season averages, I lead with the worst QBR of 37.9, Judd at 39.6, and Declan at 48.7 for his average QBR. So because last week, Judd, you finished last place last week, you're going to pick first, Declan's going to draft second, and I will draft third.
All right. In a perfect world, I would take, because he's on such a heater, Justin Fields. But they play the Broncos.
Yeah.
And the Broncos just gave up 70 points.
Here.
Yeah, that's true.
I have pause
So-
here too.
So I am not going to take Justin Fields. I am going to take a guy who is on this list, who is playing in Europe on Sunday against the Jaguars. Come on down, Desmond Ridder, and join the team. Desmond Ridder is my pick. I am loath to take the guy that had the worst QBR the previous week, but he's going to Europe. He's not,
It's tough. It's a tough travel situation.
it's it's too tempting to pass up. So instead of trying to get cute, which I did a little bit with Mac Jones, because we have to work in the Mac Joneses of the world, I'm just going to go back to what I know is not a good quarterback, Desmond Ridder.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to pick my guy here because he's coming off a brutal week against the Bills, and now he has to go into Philadelphia. I'm taking Sam Howell of the Commanders.
Oh.
Give me Sam Howell. He had a 19 QBR last week. He threw 4 interceptions.
Sammy.
He's going to play
Sammy
a
boy.
Philly defense that is probably going to smother him. He's on the road.
Good call.
I will burn my Sam Howell bullet now and hopefully get on the dang board here. I'm 10 points lower than the next
You're
closest
Yeah,
guy.
dude.
You're good.
picking average quarterback performances.
You're
Yeah.
good. You're outstanding
Yeah,
in
in
this
a
game.
way.
You're Ted Williams.
Declan's going to
way.
take Patrick Mahomes again.
You gotta take him sometime.
Actually, Patrick Mahomes against the Jets this week, right? So you make that's the thing about the quarterback cesspool challenge. You can't pick Zach Wilson every week.
Right.
It's like a survivor.
We talked
pool,
about this. Yeah.
which is why I am considering something crazy here.
Oh,
So
boy.
I know Baker Mayfield's playing at the Saints, and that could be a tough challenge against that defense. That's probably where I should go. Mac Jones playing at the Cowboys, but the Cowboys defense without Trayvon Diggs just looked a lot different against the Cardinals. The Cleveland Browns have an insane defense this year. They're allowing 3 yards per play. Myles Garrett was unstoppable for 3 hours against the Tennessee Titans. And at some point, we're going to have to burn like some good quarterbacks here. I'm going to take Lamar Jackson at Cleveland this week as my quarterback cesspool pick.
All right.
Lamar Jackson. I know it's kind of a Hail Mary here, but at some point I'm going to save my Baker Mayfield bullet.
You're playing with house money here. You got a couple wins. You're in first place. You're fine.
Yeah, take it easy. Yeah, you're doing great. You're doing fantastic. You're pulling away. No question about it.
Basically taking the Browns defense is my goal here.
All right.
So there it is. That's the quarterback cesspool challenge here on Purple Daily. Celebrating crappy quarterback play around the NFL.
Can I tell you guys quickly before we go how ingrained football is in my head right now? I had a dream last night, vivid, that Joe Namath came back to play quarterback for the Jets and was good.
Awesome.
Coming up on NBC, Joe Willie Namath.
Let's dust off a legend.
How old is Joe Namath? Honest to God, he had gained weight but looked good, and he was outstanding. He was really good.
Let's guess, how old is Joe Namath? He's got to be like 84, 82?
He's 80.
80.
He's 80 years old.
He's 80.
He's 80 years old. So this is how screwed up my brain is right now. I'm having dreams about Joe Namath playing quarterback.
That's awesome.
Oh, I need help.
I just want to kiss you.
Where's Susie Colbert now? Why do you spin fire?
You said Joe Namath might have lost a little weight. Maybe he called his friends at Livia. Huh?
That's very possible.
Joe?
That's very possible. That was not included in my dream package last night, but you know what? That certainly would make sense. That Joe probably watches PD and saw this, the guy on the left, the guy on the right. He said, that's the same guy. That's incredible. How can I drop 40 pounds as well? And the answer is this. Livia Weight Control Centers voted the best weight loss program in the state the past 3 years. And guys, I'm going to tell you right now, it's a lifestyle change, but it's as simple as can be. You can still enjoy life. You can still enjoy football Sundays. But the dietitians and nutritionists at Livia are going to help you get that weight down, and they're going to help you keep that weight down. And that is the most important thing. So guys, if you are toying with the idea of, okay, I'd like to lose weight, I'd like to fit into all those clothes, how do I do it exactly? Livia should be your first stop. And do I have an offer for you? 3 months free. So the first 3 months are free. So you're going to drop weight, you're going to look good, feel good, and 3 months will be free. 855-GO-LIVEA, Livia, LIVEA.com. Livia, I'm going to tell you right now, firsthand experience, it works, it's effective, and again, you don't have to stop living your life, but you're going to get the help to drop those pounds from Livia.
Amen. All right, that's a wrap here on this Write That Down edition of Purple Daily. Daily Vikings entertainment. Looking forward to seeing as many of you as we can on Sunday at Park Tavern for the watch party and the live event line. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die, and the math is making it difficult this year.